English is the universal form of communication. It is not only defined as a language that everyone uses, but it also has purposes in different fields or areas. And now, our topic is about EST. This acronym stands for English for Science and Technology. Under these are different fields such as English for mathematics, English for computers, and features of science. But wait, let us know more about what EST is first. When we say EST, it is a functional variety of modern English. What does that mean? It is a variety of languages used for a particular purpose or in a specific communicative situation. So when we are in different situations, we use different forms of language. That is where jargons will enter, which will be discussed by my other groupmates. So continue watching for you to know what are those. From the name itself, EST, it is a type of English that aims to serve science and technology. Therefore, it can be defined as a knowledge concerning science and technology that is expressed in English. Of course, attempting to express new ideas related to science or scientific ideas becomes a matter of trying to find the right words. So they come up with these words for this field in order to better convey the scientific knowledge to both learners and teachers. Did you know that in other countries, they offer EST as a language course? Yes, you heard it right. It is a course designed to help international undergraduate students who are nearing completion or have completed the bachelor's degree in science or engineering, which develop the language and communication that is necessary for working, studying, and undertaking research in a scientific setting. And now, let us talk about some of the various areas of EST. Let's go.
A pleasant day to everyone. I am Heinz Brenny P. Muego, and in this video I am going to discuss to you on how does the English language is used in teaching mathematics. There are many branches of mathematics, and they can be grouped into the following branches: arithmetic, algebra, geometry, trigonometry, calculus, and the statistics and the probability. And there are branches of mathematics that are for the students in the higher level, and these are the analysis, discrete mathematics, applied mathematics, Cartesian geometry, matrix algebra, combinatorics, topology, and the order theory. Our teachers in our previous years in learning taught us that the mathematics is derived from the contributors of the brilliant thinkers across the globe and throughout the ages. The sole purpose of this subject is to give us a way to understand patterns, to quantify relationships, and to predict future. It is true indeed that math helps us to understand the world, and we use the world to understand math. Mathematics consists of different formulas and solutions, and it also involves different terms and jargons that is commonly used in identifying the symbols and words that is included in the different formulas. And also, there are some knowledge in this subject that requires a statement in order to justify and present the answer. In order to deliver the knowledge to the students, it can be done through the discussion of the teachers, and this is where the language is involved. There are different approaches in teaching mathematics, and these approaches requires communication, either verbal or non-verbal. And we are all familiar that the English language is the universal language of the world. Because of this, The English language is being used in teaching of some of the subjects in schools, and one of these are the mathematics. The term English for mathematics or the mathematical English refers to a special form of the English language used to making formal mathematical statements, specifically for communicate definitions, theorems, proofs, and examples. Mathematical English also includes technical jargons. These technical jargons are the ordinary words that we usually hear and use, and some of them are being used also in the other fields such as the field of medicine and etc. On the other hand, mathematical English is also an example of a technical register or a jargon. The main purpose of this is to help the teachers to deliver the essential knowledge to the students by teaching the definitions of the topic, to introduce the formula, and to make the instruction understandable to the learners. That's the main reason on how the mathematical English is used in teaching mathematics. That's all for my part, and now let's proceed to another topic.
Computer science is the study of computers and computing, as well as the theoretical and practical applications. Computer science applies the principles of mathematics, engineering, and logic to a plethora of functions, including algorithm formulations, software and hardware development, and artificial intelligence. Those students in computer science are aware that English is the dominant language on the internet. They will need to develop their reading and writing skills in English in order to properly utilize these resources and interact with others. So most of the technology is developed in English speaking. Most of the informations and books are available in English. Certifying a technology requires knowledge of the language. The software updates is first performed for English system. English extremely important for computing, so most of applications and programs are available in English. So for those who enter the deeper into the field of computer science and programming, the language becomes indispensable to fully understand all the commands and jargons. In general, English speaking is indispensable or essential. By using English words and phrases to write code, developers can make their code more easier to understand and also to make changes if necessary.
Scientific English has proven to be different from other language genres in terms of natures and functions. It is precise, accurate, and impersonal. It is an object interpretation of facts and findings. It is also based on scientific experiments rather than on human assumptions. Additionally, scientific English tends to be free from flowery or aesthetic language. It is also reported that scientists focus sharply on the authenticity of the theme rather than of the fashion of demonstrations. Thus, there is no room for human impulsive and human pleasure in scientific articles. The scientific English vocabulary includes a wide range of content words and functional words. The high frequency of content words is due to the fact that scientists usually deal on objects and substances. Functional words such as prepositions and articles are most frequently used in the scientific genre to identify objects or people. In the same context, the vocabulary of scientific English includes technical terms which are invented to define the new phenomena and to explain things and process. Each scientific subject has its store of terms with precise, and narrow meanings. So here are the examples of the terms related to the field of biology. So first we have photosynthesis, phylum, agents, species, fertility, algae, vegetation, zygote, host, and cyanobacteria. So now let's proceed to the basic characteristics or features of scientific English. So first we have scientific writing must be clear. Without a doubt, this one is the most important characteristic of scientific writing. While literature may be flowery and poetic, with many complex meanings, scientific writing cannot follow the same principle. So why? Other scientists need to be able to follow and replicate your work. If there are any ambiguous meaning, you could end up killing many people, especially in clinical studies. So next is scientific writing must be concise. Concise does not necessarily mean short. It means you don't include additional or irrelevant information. So third, we have scientific writing must be accurate. This goes back to the ethics in science. Do not fabricate results and do not make up information. If someone found out, your reputation will be ruined and all credibility will be lost. Also, if someone tries to follow your experimental method and can't due to the inaccuracy, no matter how good the rest of the writing is, instantly make your writing bad. Example of scientific writings. Scientific writings use specific terminology for very specific things that few people might understand, or what we call it easy to read, means that the rest of the writing is not complex. A reader knowledgeable about the subject should be using a dictionary or reference materials to figure out the terms that they do not understand. They should not try to figure out exactly what are they referring to with a verb that is on the other side of a sentence from the subject or object because of how you wrote it. If your sentence becomes slightly hard to understand, it is a guarantee that someone will misunderstand what is written. So last is scientific language must be an objective. While your solution might have turned blue color, not everyone might agree that the type of blue is was pretty. As people have different opinions and different perceptions, universal language that everyone can agree on is a must. So that is the 5 scientific English or the features of scientific English.
We are here to talk about the science and technology. And we all know that science and technology is brought us to innovation, invention, and improvement for us to have an accessible and convenient lifestyle. And now we are here to unlock the terms, words, or jargons that you may encounter in the field of math, science, and computer. Is the word port. In the field of technology or computer, it uses as the slot or plug of the computer. It is usually found in the rear part of the PC unit. This is where you plug in or plug out the wires, cables that you use in the computer. Next, in the other field, the word port is usually used as the place where the ship may ride secure from the storm. This is also used as the place where the ship transfers the cargo to another ship. The next word is virus. In the field of technology, virus uses as or describe as harmful program that can affect the computer and that can annoy the user. This came from the unsecured file that we download from the internet. And then in the other field, in the field of medic or the medicine, it is a virus, which is a small agent that can replicate the cells inside of our body, and some viruses can cause disease. One of the example of this is the coronavirus that we suffered last 2 years ago. The next word is the word cookies. In the field of technology, cookies is described as the small files sent to you from the files and documents that you downloaded from the internet. This is usually stay or store in your browser that usually causes logs and hang off your phones. In the other field, cookies is described as a small biscuits that we usually eat as a dessert, snacks, and appetizers. Let's move on to the field of science. So what are the jargons that we may encounter in this field? First on the list is the word mass. In the field of science, mass is described as quantity of the matter or the measurement of the matter. On the other field, mass is described as the central act of worshiping God in the life of Catholic that up until now it is still practiced by our brothers and sisters from the Catholic Church. The next word is the word tissue. In the field of science, tissue is described as the collection of cells, usually of a particular kind. One of the examples of this is the sample of brain tissue. This is usually used for the examination for the laboratory. In the other field, the word tissue is described as the alternative for handkerchief. This is usually a piece of paper to wipe all or to clean up the unnecessary dirt from our faces, from the spots of our body. The next word is the word funnel. The word funnel in the field of science is usually described or means as the ventilation where the smoke escapes. And in the other field, the word funnel, it is a utensils that you can find in the kitchen that you may use in cooking, baking, and etc. Let's move on to the field of mathematics. So what are the jargons that we commonly encountered in the field of math? So first on the list is the word table. In English, table is described as the furniture that we usually found in our home or in our houses that has usually fixed legs to stabilize. This is where we put our things or our food. And then in the field of mathematics, this is described as the systematic arrangement of the data. It has a column and a row. And the next word is factor. Factor in math is described as any numbers or symbols that when we multiply together produce a product. One of the example of this is factors of 10. So in English, the word factor means as the things that we need to consider that affecting a certain phenomena. For example of this is what are the factors affecting the students in learning English? What are the factors that affecting the time management of the students? The next word is the word plot. In mathematics, this is the graphic presentation of your data. This is where you present your data in a graphic form. Next is the word plot in English is usually means as a small area for planted ground. And this is also used in the literature as the plot of the story. This is usually means as the events, the sequence of the events of the stories. That would be all. Thank you.
Now, as for the use of English in teaching science and technology, English has become the dominant language in scientific communication, and it is extensively used in research paper, conferences, and of course in academic journals. English is also often used as the language of instruction in science and technology courses at the university level, and more particularly in countries where English is not the primary language. Now, in addition, English is used in teaching science and technology to ensure that research and findings can be shared and disseminated globally, as well as to provide access to a wide range of scientific resources and literature. Lastly, the use of English as a medium of instruction in science and technology also helps students to develop the language skills necessary to succeed in academic and in the professional setting.
In conclusion, English is a second language for most countries and one of the most used language when communicating to different people across the world. It is currently the most used language for international trade. English and science and technology are linked in terms of being able to operate many systems. It is also the best way to share one's science research findings. So, in order to have meaningful learning, teachers suggest using language that is vital in teaching science and technology. This just shows that language plays a crucial role in the formation of development of different concepts. With this, it allows the students to have a wider scope and better understanding, which will lead to scientific progress.